Well, Mark, make it back to Weatherfield, Coronation Street's at 1. Now in Granada, the news with Rachel Bullock.
The headlines: 8 police officers face disciplinary action following last year's riot in Liverpool's Slater Street. A public inquiry opens in North Wales over controversial plans that could create 3,000 new jobs. And why a city renowned for its music feels the time is right to appoint Europe's first singer in residence. Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchtime News from Granada. First today, 8 police officers from the Merseyside force are to face disciplinary action over claims of assault and abuse of authority during a post-football match riot. Chief Constable Norman Betterson launched an inquiry after the disturbance in the Slater Street area of Liverpool last September. It followed Liverpool's 3-2 defeat by Manchester United. Witnesses claim they saw officers with their faces hidden by scarves beating supporters with batons. The Police Complaints Authority has recommended disciplinary action. No criminal charges are being brought. Well, joining me now live from our studio in Liverpool is the Deputy Chief Constable of Merseyside Police, Michael Baxter. Mr. Baxter, firstly, what's your reaction to 8 of your officers facing these allegations?
Clearly, it's disappointing that these allegations should be necessary in the first place, and the events of that night have been thoroughly investigated. The Crown Prosecution Service has said that there should be no criminal charges based on 2 reasons. One is the fact it's been difficult to identify individual officers involved in the events. They all dressed the same way. And secondly, and just as importantly, the fact that critical witnesses have failed to come forward.
What would you say to the obvious argument that had it been supporters with scarves around their faces attacking officers, they would now be facing criminal charges?
I think the Crown Prosecution Service look at each case based on its merits, and if they were faced with the same evidence that they were faced with in respect of football supporters vis-à-vis police officers, they would come to the same conclusion. There is one thing that I should draw to your attention, though. They were not scarves. They're what are called flash hoods, and they're to protect the officers from smoke and flame, and they're part of the protective equipment that an officer does wear, and which we're seeking to improve because of the allegations of that night.
Well, finally, Mr. Baxter, obviously Merseyside Police have carried out an internal inquiry into this. Do you think that inquiry should have been public?
There's no remit for a public inquiry in this case. Molly Meacher of the Police Complaints Authority this morning has said that it is one of the most thorough and professional inquiries ever delivered to the Police Complaints Authority. I am satisfied that the resources, and there have been significant resources put into this inquiry, have in fact completed a very, very professional job with integrity, and have provided the Police Complaints Authority and the Crown Prosecution Service with the best evidence to consider, given that significant witnesses were missing.
Well, Mr. Baxter, thank you very much for joining us today. On to other news now, and detectives in Liverpool say a woman found murdered in an alleyway in the Anfield area of the city may have been working as a prostitute. A post-mortem examination reveals she died from multiple injuries. The police say the victim was in her late 30s and had a grown-up child. They're appealing for information to help catch her killer. Elaine Wilcox has the latest.
Detectives say the woman in her late 30s had been subjected to an horrific attack. Her body was discovered in an alleyway off Blessington Road, close to Liverpool's Anfield ground, by a woman walking her dog. A post-mortem examination revealed she'd died from multiple injuries to her head, face and body. The police say she may have been working as a prostitute, and they're appealing to the local community for help.
It isn't an issue as to whether she was or she wasn't a prostitute. The feedback we're getting from the community, they aren't concerned about the fact that she was a prostitute. They are concerned that she's being killed, and that's what the fundamental issue is here, and it's what we need to sort out.
Forensic teams have scoured the area for the murder weapon, and the area remains cordoned off today. Detectives believe the woman lived locally, but she hasn't yet been formally identified. House-to-house inquiries are now being carried out to build up a picture of her lifestyle and help trace her killer.
Police in Lancashire are hunting a gang who robbed a post office after holding the owners hostage. It's thought the robbers were waiting for the couple at their home and kept them captive overnight. Ian Aspin has the latest.
Police were called to the couple's East Lancashire house at shortly before 9 o'clock this morning. Officers say the postmaster and postmistress had arrived home last night to be confronted by 3 men who had forced their way inside. The couple were pushed to the floor, tied up and kept overnight.
They were very glad, obviously, to see a police officer coming in through the front door. They were tied to a banister rail at the time. They were very, very upset. They were very distressed. They've been held overnight, all for the sake of working for the post office and obviously having access to money.
The couple run the post office on the Shadsworth estate in Blackburn, but live off-site. Police say the gang travelled from the couple's home to the post office early this morning. Once here, they used keys stolen from the couple to gain entry to the premises and took a substantial amount of cash. Police and forensic teams are gathering information which it's hoped will help them track down those responsible for the attack. They're appealing for anyone with information to contact them.
3,000 new jobs hang on the outcome of a public inquiry which has begun in North Wales into a plan to double the size of the huge Deeside Industrial Park. Councils and homeowners in the neighbouring areas are against the scheme. Trevor Green has this report.
The Deeside Industrial Park was launched in the 70s when this northeast corner of Wales started to witness severe economic decline. It's been developed on 500 acres of land, once occupied by the giant Shotton Steelworks. But the Welsh Development Agency wants to develop a further 200 acres of rich farmland opposite. Objections have come from neighbouring villages of Puddington, Burton and Shottick, and Cheshire County Council has lodged a holding objection. The Welsh Development Agency, which has put forward the application, says the industrial park has already attracted major employers such as Toyota, Iceland and Pilkington. It says the plan will create 3,000 new jobs, and it's the only suitable site available. The public inquiry is expected to last several weeks.
Now, it's being called, even if Liverpool Council say so themselves, an imaginative scheme. The Town Hall has followed Liverpool's great music traditions by appointing Europe's first ever singer-in-residence. Rachel Russell will represent the city by performing at a number of arts events in coming years. Andy Byrne explains.
The city of Liverpool has never before had a shortage of musical talent, but never before has the City Council decided it needed to sponsor it. Until now. Meet Rachel Russell. She's the newly appointed official voice of Liverpool, and it's quite a voice. She's already been chosen as Voice of the Year at the Liverpool Festival of Music. Now she'll sing for her city.
I'll be requested to sing at civic events, church services and for the Lord Mayor at a minimum of 4 events a year.
And are you happy with that?
Yes, well, it's going to create great opportunities for me and publicise myself and get me well known, really. It's great.
The appointment coincides with Liverpool's bid to be the European Capital of Culture in 2008.
Well, finally, a real treat for pop fans in Granada tonight when our very own Ginny Buckley interviews Spice Girl Mel B. You can see the two chatting exclusively about love, marriage and Mel's new single.
I am a single-parent mother, a working single-parent mother. I am Melanie, who has fun, goes out mad and parties, and I'm Melanie, who stays at home, watches videos and feeds the ducks and takes the dogs for a walk. Since I joined Spices and we went off on our mad mission, that was, what, 5 years ago? And I've been keeping a diary since I was about 13. So I'm very used to writing all my feelings and thoughts down on paper. And I use that skill to write my album, so it's very autobiographical. You know, I'm not the first person to go through highs and lows in their life. It's just I choose to write about it. And, you know, that all you love was Mel B's money. Yeah, I was in a situation where I found out the person who I was with just liked me for my money.
More of that on tonight's programme with Mark Owen and Lucy Meacock. We'll also have the Independent MP Martin Bell live in studio talking about his political future and his new book. That's coming up at 5:30. But until then, from me, goodbye.
Granada weather.
Well, it was a murky old start to Tuesday with a lot of clouds, some low cloud and some rain, as we can see from the satellite picture. Now for this afternoon, the main band of rain will continue to clear out towards the east, and it's not too bad. There could be the odd glimpse of blue sky, but still certainly some low cloud at first. Temperatures around 18 Celsius, winds light to moderate and from the west. Now again, it's not too bad this evening, dry, there could be some hazy sunshine, but much like last night it will tend to cloud over with outbreaks of rain moving in from the west, leading to a very wet start to Wednesday. Temperatures overnight falling down to 11 Celsius.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update on 09068 559977.